This is chapter 4, number 14. We want to figure out the angle this beer mug hits the ground with. And it tells us it hits a distance d away horizontally from a height h. So the bartender is sliding you a beer, you miss it, and it hits the ground. And so realistically, it's going some Vx when it hits the ground and some Vy. And then we want to know the angle. So the angle with like all those vectors, the angle is going to be inverse tangent of Vy over Vx. And so what we need to do is get some sort of relationship between Vi and Vx. Okay? So Vx, well, that's going to be in somehow relationship to d, because what we know is that horizontally we're going to go a distance d traveling Vx times some t. Well, we don't really know what t is yet, but we can work on that because we know it's dropped from a height of h. And again, what we've reviewed in projectile motion is that these two motions are completely independent. It's traveling this distance completely on how fast it is horizontally, and it's going to travel this distance vertically completely just on 1/2 at squared. It does not have any original vertical velocity. It's not shot at an angle, and so what we can do is we can solve for this t. So the flight time is going to be the square root of 2h over g. So then we can get Vx can be written as d over this time, where the time is 2h over g. So there's your Vx. Vy follows the standard equation of our velocity equation. Our final Vy, well, there's no initial velocity in the vertical direction, and then it's just minus g for how long we're in the air. Well, we just decided how long we're in the air. That's just 2h over g. I'm going to simplify this. This is g to the first power. This is g to the square root in the denominator. And it's one of those things that if you have g over the square root of g, that's the same thing as the square root of g. This is g to the first, g to the half, and we have g to the half left over in the numerator. So then Vy can be rewritten as negative square root of 2 and gh. And then we know then the angle is inverse tangent of Vy, and again I'm going to get rid of the negative sign because I know it's already down, the square root of 2gh over Vx, which is d over the square root of 2h over g. Now take a look at this algebraically. If you look at these g's are going to cancel. This is the square root of g, and the denominator's denominator. I know that sounds confusing. Take a second and take a look at it. But this g and this g cancel. That 2 and that 2 are going to combine to make a 2. All of this ends up being inverse tangent of 2h over d. And that's the answer.